In tonight's headlines, Chinese University President and Vice-Chancellor Rocky Tuan submits his resignation. Chief Executive John Lee expresses grave concern over flight cuts by Cathay Pacific. And one of the world's greatest footballers, Franz Beckenbauer, dies at the age of 78.
Rocky Tuan, the president and vice-chancellor of the Chinese University, will leave his post in January next year. The 72-year-old academic submitted his resignation yesterday after 6 years in the job. He said in a statement, "As the new governance structure is implemented following the amendment of the CUHK ordinance, I believe now is an opportune moment for the university to search for a new vice-chancellor and president." Tuan was referring to an amendment which gives non-university staff as well as students more power in the governing body. The biomedical scientist's tenure at the Shatin Institution has been tough. During the social unrest, Tuan met students at night when there was a standoff between protesters and police on campus. He accused officers of violence. He was since targeted by pro-establishment politicians who urged him to step down. Last year, lawmakers accused him of taking sick leave and failing to attend meetings to discuss reforming the university's governing body. 3 weeks ago, the University Council fired Vice President Eric Ng after he was alleged to be biased by signing a petition opposing the reforms. Tuan's resignation shocked some students. This student said he feared that the amount of resources for learning could be affected. Another student said the string of controversies in recent years made her feel powerless, as there's not much that she and her peers can do. The university thanked Tuan for raising its international rankings to historical highs and achieving excellence in research. Maisie Mock, Cable News.
The Caritas Institute of Higher Education has been upgraded to university status with a new name, St. Francis University. This follows a review by the Hong Kong Council for Accreditation of Academic and Vocational Qualifications. The self-financed institution in Yau Ma Tei was founded in 1985 and started offering post-secondary courses in 2001. Degree-level programs were rolled out in 2010. The city's 12th university currently has 3,000 full-time and 500 part-time students.
Cathay Pacific is cutting flights over the next 2 months to ensure that operations over the Lunar New Year period won't be affected. A pilots' union meanwhile complained of a manpower shortage. Under a strategy to maintain operational resilience, Hong Kong's flagship carrier is reducing flights by an average of 12 a day, but more than 20 were scrapped yesterday, and a similar number was axed today, a move that alarmed passengers.
I was a bit worried because I'm on a Cathay flight, but I think my flights should be fine. Hopefully, if the demand is very steady, that they'll be able to hire a lot of the pilots and staff that they laid off. That would be ideal.
Chief Executive John Lee said he was very concerned as the government wants to strengthen Hong Kong's status as an aviation hub.
We will be in contact with the people in the aviation industry, particularly Cathay Pacific, to ensure that the capacity is rebuilt as quickly as possible. I also understand that this capacity constraint exists in many cities, similar to Hong Kong. I want our aviation industry to rebuild its capacity fast and completely so that we will be competitive as a whole.
Lee urged local airlines to make a greater effort to provide satisfactory services to passengers and promised help from the Transport and Logistics Bureau. The Air Crew Officers Association called for an inquiry into Cathay and a change in its leadership. It criticized the pay cuts and the shutting down of Cathay Dragon during the pandemic, saying those moves led to layoffs or resignations affecting 2,000 pilots. The managers responsible for this failed strategy have now fully restored their own pay, whilst the exodus of pilots remains unaddressed, the association said. It urged the airline to rehire pilots by offering attractive packages. Maisie Mock, Cable News.
8 police officers accused of framing a homeless Vietnamese man who later took his own life have been released on bail when they appeared in the district court today. 6 male and 2 female officers from the Sham Shui Po Special Duty Squad denied the charges, which included perverting the course of justice, inflicting grievous bodily harm, and misconduct in public office. Lee Van Moi committed suicide while on remand in the Siu Lam Psychiatric Center in October 2020. He had been arrested a few months earlier in Tong Chau Street Park in Sham Shui Po for drug possession. In court today, the prosecutor said the officer's statements contradicted what was seen on video. In the second operation in Sham Shui Po on the same day, one of the officers was accused of beating another homeless man and injuring his ribcage. A colleague who witnessed the incident did not try to stop the officer. The case was adjourned to the 2nd of next month. Janice Yu, Cable News. Chief Executive John Lee has suggested a review of charges at the accident and emergency units of public hospitals to prevent abuse of their services. Patients currently pay $180, but there have been calls to raise the fee to boost government covers and prevent misuse. Lee said some people who go to the emergency departments do not really need to do so. The government, he said, will soon examine if hospitals are prioritizing the most urgent cases. Speaking at his weekly briefing, the chief executive added that Hong Kong has to use its resources wisely. But he assured that the needs of disadvantaged groups will be taken into consideration.
U.S. President Joe Biden was interrupted as he addressed the congregation in a South Carolina church where a gunman killed 9 black worshippers in 2015.
If you really care about the lives lost here, then you should honor the lives of the call for a ceasefire in Palestine. Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
That's all right. That's all right.
People in the church kept quiet, but after the protesters were led away, they chanted 4 more years, referring to Biden's re-election bid. The president said he has been urging Israel to reduce civilian casualties in Gaza, but Washington has vetoed attempts by the United Nations Security Council to demand a ceasefire.
Thousands more displaced Palestinians are desperately searching for refuge from Israel's constant bombardment of Gaza. They streamed into areas near the southern town of Rafah as the Palestinian death toll reached over 23,000 in just 3 months. The latest movement of people coincided with another visit to Israel by the top U.S. diplomat Antony Blinken. There's growing concern, meanwhile, over the fate of Palestinian children who do not have enough food or medicines.
The situation in Gaza is unimaginably stressful for children. We do not want to see children who survive the bombing to die because they are not vaccinated.
Hong Kong stocks continued their retreat for a 6th straight session this year as Beijing plans to pump in more stimulus to tackle economic headwinds. Although the benchmark Hang Seng Index closed marginally lower today, losing just 0.2%, it has shed nearly 5% since the start of the year, dropping more than 850 points. Logistics firm Orient Overseas International Limited, or OOIL, slumped 7.2%, as fourth quarter revenue slid 49%. Food delivery platform Meituan ended the day at a 4-year low, losing 4.6%. Online retailer JD.com dropped 3.2% after one of its units, Dada Nexus, reported financial misappropriations.